Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be working on understanding and reading rhythm. Rhythm in music is simply the arrangement of notes based on their duration. To read these rhythms, we need to understand how rhythm is notated. When we see a note on the staff, we gain two bits of information from it. One, the pitch, depending on where it is on the staff, and two, the duration, which is based on its appearance. To understand the length of these durations, we need to understand the beat. No, not a drum beat, but rather consistent sections of time. Beats in most cases are steady, and in 4/4, also known as common time, we have 4 beats in each measure. Measures break up music in small units that are based on the meter. Here we see the measure from the start of the time signature to the bar line, and each bar after that. Because the time signature tells us that there are 4 beats in each measure, we divide each measure into smaller sections. In a time signature, the top number tells us how many beats per measure, and the bottom number tells us what type of note makes up that beat. Example 4/4. The top number lets us know there's going to be 4 beats per measure, with the bottom number letting us know that a quarter note equals 1 beat. In the example of 3/2, the top number lets us know that we have 3 beats per measure, but this time, because of the bottom number, the half note gets a beat. And in 6/8, the top number lets us know there's going to be 6 beats per measure, with the bottom number letting us know that the 8th note gets the beat. Important side note, we don't see the beat unless we're using a recording program, and we don't hear the beat unless we're using a metronome. So now that we understand time signatures, measures, and beats, let's look at what creates rhythm. The appearance of a note gives a note its duration. Here we have a whole note, which consists of a note head. It's called a whole note because in common time, 4/4, it takes up a whole measure. A half note contains a note head and also contains a stem. It's called a half note because in common time, it takes up half the measure. The direction of the stem doesn't affect the rhythm, so up or down, it's still the same value. A quarter note looks the same as a half note, but has a filled-in note head, and it gets its name due to taking up a quarter of a measure in 4/4. An eighth note looks similar to the quarter, but has a flag. If eighth notes are grouped together, they use a beam. As its name implies, an eighth note is an eighth of a measure, meaning that 8 eighth notes fit into one measure of common time. A 16th note just adds an extra flag. When grouped together, they are connected by 2 beams, and you guessed it, it is a 16th of a measure. As you can see, there's a pattern here. Each time the note gets smaller, it's half of the previous duration. A whole note is 4 beats, a half note is 2, a quarter is 1 beat, an eighth note is half a beat, a 16th is a quarter of a beat. So what's next? That's right, a 30-second. And all we do is add an extra flag, making it a total of 3 flags for 30-second notes. When grouped together, they are connected by 3 beams, as seen here. In a time signature where a quarter note equals 1 beat, 2 eighth notes would take up the same space as 4 16th notes and 8 30-second notes. If we wanted to go smaller, we can go to 64th, and then 128th, then 256th. Just keep adding flags and beams, but anything over 64ths is extremely rare. Once we know the duration, we can add them to our measures. We can group these patterns any way we like. So how do we play these? I suggest counting your beats out loud. Example, a whole note is a total of 4 beats in 4/4. So we're going to count to 4, making sure the note rings for the full 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. A half note takes up half of a measure, which is 2 beats. So let's play this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that the first half note takes up beats 1 and 2, and the second half note takes up beats 3 and 4. Make sure to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and not just count 1, 2, 1, 2. We want to keep track of our place in each measure. Now let's try quarter notes. They're worth 1 beat. So if we had 4 quarter notes in a measure of 4/4, we would have a quarter note falling on each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, we can create combinations with quarter notes and half notes. So let's try this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go, a new one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. If we use notes that are smaller than a quarter note, then we would have to divide our beats into smaller sections. Say we have an eighth note, it's worth half a beat, so we could have 2 eighth notes in one beat, so we would still want to keep track of our placement and count 1, 2, 3, 4. But add an and in between. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. How about 16th notes? 16th notes are a fourth of one beat, so we use 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da. Let's keep them going as we try playing. 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try these rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give this video a like. Next time, we'll be covering ties, dots, rests, and other 16th note patterns. Until then, check out these videos, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content. Thanks for watching.